Did you know that green tea also has caffeine in it? Not very shocking, I know. But it's probably 10,000 times healthier to you than... It's probably a lot healthier for you than like coffee and like creamer. Than coffee creamer is, which is what I used to drink all the time. Now I drink tea because I'm better than everyone. In fact, it's probably not even that much healthier because I still add like a pound of sugar into it. So that has any sort of flavor. It's kind of hard to get that. So, I have nothing to do today. That is literally the opposite of what I was trying to say. I have a lot to do today. I actually have a lot to do all week. Since I don't really have much time to make a video, I might as well just film what I'm doing anyway. Because today I have to finish editing the Captain Toad episode 2, and honestly, guys, I hope you're liking the videos because I hate editing them so much. There's so much footage to go through. Trust me, I'm cutting out like 3/4 of the entire game. You're only seeing a tiny chunk of it. I also have some other videos that I've been working on that I'm just like, is this worth editing together? I think it is, including this video, which I think I'll start editing today, I guess. This is kind of it was raining outside, it's the aesthetic, it's fall, it's... And then I also have a math test on Friday, which I am not looking forward to, because guess what? In Canada, I'm doing the hardest math 30-1. So now I want to kill myself. So I was thinking, what if as a way to study, I could teach you guys math 30-1, so that you guys will be equipped if you're already in grade 12 or going into grade 12. And if you're in the US or outside of Canada, screw you, I guess, because this is a different curriculum. I don't know if this will actually help anyone because it's really just specific to the things that I'm kind of struggling with in math right now. So, anyway, let's start with the basics. The basics that I already have a firm understanding of, but, you know, just reiterating it in any sort of way helps. Who remembers what a function is? Basically, it means a graph where you input an x value and it makes it a y value. So you can do anything to the input, which is x, to make a y value, and then you can show it visually on a graph. So if we look at the two graphs here, this one is a function because for every x value, there is only one y value, meaning that the line never crosses over itself. You know what I mean? If I draw a bunch of vertical lines, at any point, there will never be 2 points. You know what I mean? Unlike this one, there's 3 points that means for one x, there would be 3 y points, and that's just not allowed. And when we're working with functions, we write them out as f of x. But that just means y. So you'd usually do y equals x, but instead we do f of x equals x. And the f of x kind of just means whatever is done to x. Y equals whatever is done to x. So let's say take f of x equals 2x. Whatever, this would be a parabola. This would look like this on the graph. Somewhere like that, you know what I mean? So we can use this new format to change the input of x. Basically, this means replace x with this. So right now x is just x, but we could say f of 2, and then we would have to replace x with 2. See what I see? You see what I see? And then you can also do stuff like, oh, what's the difference between doing this and this? Doing this means that you're doing 2 times y, while this means replacing x with 2. If this is still our equation, 2 of f of x would be 2x plus 4. This would be timesing the entire thing, which would be 4x squared plus 8. And then if you're doing this, means you're doing 2 squared plus 4. See? This replaces x, and this affects y, or basically the entire thing. This is helping. Trust me, this is helping. This will be the most agonizing video to edit, though. Have him go back and watch all this again. Okay, for a graph like this, which is y equals absolute value of x, the domain would be everything. Because no matter what, it's going to hit every horizontal value. It's going on indefinitely horizontally. However, it will always be above 0. It'll always be going up, so you would say it equals 0 and goes up for infinity. Get it? Get it? I don't want to talk about this anymore. This is stupid. Oh, this one's fun and complicated and something I kind of understand. Is when you can take... So when you write f of x instead of y, the f is just kind of like a label. You know what I mean? You can change f to be g or h or whatever letter you want. It just differentiates between two different graphs. So we can say f of x is x squared plus 2, and then g of x is 2x plus 3. And then we can go like, okay, now what if we added them together? You're like, what? I'm like, what? I don't really know what that means or why that would be useful. I don't really know what I'm talking about. This isn't helping. So remember, y is an output, x is an input. But one thing you can do is you can take the output of one graph and make it an input for another graph. Basically taking f of x and then putting it into g of x, which would look like this. G of f of x. I know, crazy guys, this is getting, woo! Now this is thrilling. Let's say f of x is x plus 1, and then g of x is 2x plus 3. Let's say, what if I want to put g of x into f, and if I want to put g of f of x into g? Basically, I would go, okay, I'd replace gx with its equation, 2x plus 3. And then I would do this. And you know what you do? Whenever you have something in this bracket, you replace x with it. So instead of doing x plus 1, I would do 2x plus 3 plus 1. See? It just completely replaces the x. And then f of gx would be, combining these two together, that would be 2x plus 4. See? It's not even that complicated. F of g of 2. That requires a couple more steps, because instead of putting g of 2 into fx right away, you have to figure out what g of 2 is. Basically, what is g, what is y, when x is 2? So we can do this quickly. G of 2 would be 2, replace x with 2 plus 3. 4 plus 3. And then g of 2 is 4 plus 3, so that would be 7. So remember that, it is 7. And now we can just replace g of 2 with 7, and then put 7 plus 1, and then f of g of 2, which is also 7, is 8. Genius, genius. Restrictions means when x cannot be a certain value, or I guess when y can't be a certain value. It's basically when y equals x. So if y equals whatever is done to x, what if you do something to x, like make it a not real number? So that includes doing this. That's not a real number. Or making x equal 0 and then putting it as a division. That's not possible. I think those are the two big ones really when you either come across a reciprocal, I don't know. So let's say we're doing y equals 1 over x plus 2. We're going to try to find the restriction at the bottom of this fraction. So basically we're just going to be like, okay, well x plus 2 cannot equal 0. It can be negative. You can divide by a negative number, but you can never divide by 0. So we're going to do this like we would any other like equals equation. We're just going to subtract 2 and isolate x. So x cannot be negative 2. So now we know that the graph will look something like this. Negative 2. See that? It cannot be negative 2. But it will be all the numbers surrounding negative 2. Now, if we have y equals x plus 1, it's like, oh god, what is this? This is horrible. So, we have to say x plus 1 has to be greater than or equal to 0. Whatever is under the radical sign can be 0, but it cannot be less than 0. So now, just like I said earlier, any other equals equation, you can do this. X is greater than or equal to negative 1. And now, when you're working with an equation like this, and now you got to figure out how this is all going to work with domain and restriction. So let's say g of x, doesn't matter what the equation is, let's say it cannot be I think I understand it now. So I failed to teach you guys actually this one thing for like a good solid 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So let's pretend like none of that ever happened. And now that I understand it, my job, you guys will have to learn it on your own. If you want to ever Google it or look it up on YouTube, it is domain and range on composite functions. So if you're ever bored, look that up. It's all the stuff that we've kind of learned before. And I think my dog is a good indication. I have to say, I very much appreciate you joining me today, as I attempt... Hey! You want to see him? I think we all just want to see him. He's the real star of the show here. I appreciate you joining me as I tried to teach everyone math. Everyone on planet Earth, I know when you Google, like, Math 30-1 help, that mine will be on the top of the list because it was just such exquisite. Really, I'm just doing all you guys a favor by... I explained, like, maybe like a quarter of a unit to you, so I hope you're... Can he shut up? So thanks for watching. I'm sorry if this video was terrible. I thought it would be a lot more fun. Maybe it was fun. Anyways, let me know if you want me to study with you guys more. Now I'll switch it over to Jake, because that is really who everyone cares about.